Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mage,
And this is Rectify.
and today we are going to be bringing you the first of the FML show matches rebooted. So the basic premise of these games are we have two solo pros in it, and we have two free-for-all pros, and the winner gets to stay on for the next match. So say Persuade wins this match, then he will go ahead and play in the next one, but the other three contestants will be knocked out. Today we have Yaws in the bottom right corner. All four players random, by the way. Yaws got Night Elf. Hawk actually got Night Elf as well. Magadansky got Human, and then Persuade got Undead. So pretty even matchups here, and it's interesting that neither of our pro-human players will actually be playing Human, and there's no Orc, so we should be able to resist teaming somebody incessantly for insane heroes.
Yeah, this should be an interesting match. Persuade, of course, is a random player, so he's not at a disadvantage here. And Magadansky actually plays human pretty frequently now in those random hero matches on Play FFA, so should be interesting to see.
Say Persuade's main race probably could be made a case for it being Undead, and then both of our free-for-all solo players probably play enough Warcraft that they're proficient with every race, so let's see. It looks like Hawk is going to open up with a Demon Hunter. Yaws will be going for a Tavern Hero. I'm sure he's actually going to use Ancient of War to creep the Mana Fountain, though, which is kind of interesting. Usually you will use that to creep an expansion. I'm sure Persuade will be going for the typical Death Knight as his first one, and then it looks like Magadansky will be going for an Archmage. So no huge surprises here, although Hawk going Demon Hunter first is not something you see too often, and we could still see something like a Tinker out of Yaws.
Yeah, I'm expecting a weird hero from Yaws, and I'm expecting a weird third hero from Persuade because it's Persuade.
That is very true.
Yeah, I'm expecting pretty standard creeping, like power creeping, and then probably harassing Yaws from Actually, no. Hawk will probably harass Magadansky if he scouts him out because he's going to enjoy the elf on human harass.
Yep. That'd be my guess, and I think Hawk probably will want to take out a free-for-all player first and not the solo player. That's just my guess, but it seems more likely that Hawk would focus down a free-for-all player first, thinking they'll be easy target, and he can just eliminate people as quickly as possible.
Yep, looks like Hawk's only scouting to his right, though, so he's only going to pick up Yaws here.
And Yaws will be able to take down that Wisp, probably. Nope, the Wisp is going to live. We're off to an exciting start already.
Beast Hunter first for Yaws. Classic opening for the elf. The Stampede move is excellent late game.
I was going to say, we actually did have Persuade win a game by going Mass Archer's Beastmaster at one point. So if he picks up a Priestess of the Moon second, he may have some interesting combinations going on.
I was going to say, somewhere Dovecki, that crazy bastard, is watching this game just going, yes!
Somebody's
My
actually
dream.
taking my strategy seriously.
I was so happy when I saw him write like a 10-page guide on how to use Beastmaster in free-for-all.
I would say you gotta love that he's using innovation, though.
I
Maybe
do.
something that nobody else will ever use, but good for him for actually doing it. And he
So
caught a
yeah.
lot of people off guard with that, because who the fuck expects to be rushed with a Beastmaster?
Hey, look at this. Yaws fast expanding. Good for him. Good for him. I'm sorry, Hawk. I really just expected him to go like 5 Archer tech into Lore Rush on someone, and it's actually doing something constructive.
I suspect he's going to end up taking both of the expansions to either side of him and just try to go 100 with like 4 expansions at the same time and 3v1 everybody. Which could be amusing.
And technically that wouldn't be bad manner because it looks like they did not call clockwise or counterclockwise, which is very surprising.
I'm not sure anybody's actually said a word yet. I know Persuade talked to the observers at one point, but I don't think anybody has said anything in the game chat. Which, not a huge surprise. I suspect Hawk is going to enjoy that after some other recent memories. And then Persuade here, we should point this out, doing a very nice job creeping these. If you notice, he has all his units spread out here so that the Thunder Lizards will not do a bunch of splash damage. He is taking more damage on the Death Knight than he should be probably, and now he has stopped spreading his units out. But early on, he had a nice formation for how to deal with these, because too often you see players that will have their units clumped together and lose a lot more health than they should, as Persuade's 2 Fiends are right here, right now.
Yeah, I think my record is losing like 8 footmen at this camp once. It was not a pretty sight.
It's not fun for human players. It does look like Yaws went for the bear, so we've got this sweet-looking purple bear on the map now. He does not have a name, though, so we need to name the bears that Yaws puts out.
I was going to say, now, does each one get an individual name, or do we just give the bear, the general bear, the collective bear?
Probably just give the general bear a name, I think.
How about Fuzzy? It looks like a Fuzzy. Toothy? Slackjaw? I don't know.
Slackjaw's good. I like Slackjaw. Slackjaw the bear.
And that's really imbalanced, because now he's harnessing the power of the Beastmaster with Vampiric Aura. So it's like, that bear has plus 15% HP. Oh my god.
It's pretty much just imbalanced, actually.
It is. Motion to ban it from Season 18.
Done, but only because Devecki's not playing. If he was playing, we'd have to keep it in. So Persuade will be the one to grab the 2 red camps over here, most likely. Pretty easy to creep, as the undead duck actually was the first one to really show that you could basically 2-fiend creep these brood mothers and grab some awesome items early on. Probably hoping for an Inferno Stone. That would be the best you could get here, and he gets a scroll of Animate Dead, so not really worth it.
Womp womp.
Hawk is going ahead and getting his expansion up, though. I like the fact that he went for actually putting the Tree of Life up to expand before creeping it and tanking with that. It reminds me a little bit of Nublex, although obviously not quite as smooth. Yaws has his expansion going up as well, and Persuade, of course, has his natural. Magadansky's had his up for a little while. So everybody's going to be at 1 expansion for a while, pretty even so far. Interesting to see, though, who takes what, and I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Hawk is actually using an AP to go ahead and harass Hogs here.
Did I call it, or did I call it?
I was going to say, I like that move. It may not be the smartest one ever, but it's freaking hilarious.
So now you've got the 2-hero, 5-archer harass, which...
We've got Persuade picked up a second scroll of Animate Dead. That's pretty helpful, and then Magadansky's can go ahead and creep jack him here. So it looks like we're going to pair off our solo and free-for-all players so far.
Which is actually kind of a comfortable ground for Persuade. I think that if this plays out top versus bottom like this, Persuade's definitely going to win, because he'll definitely be able to take out Maga pretty easily, and he'll be able to get his FFA economy going a lot faster.
Yeah, I think both Magadansky and Persuade would feel a lot better if they can get into the 100 food stage while having 3,000 or 4,000 gold. I mean, that's really where the top free-for-all players do shine, is managing that huge army. And while Hawk and Yaws are both incredible players, they probably don't have as much experience with the huge armies as Persuade and Maga do. It does look like Yaws has picked up the Panda second. I don't know if you mentioned that earlier, but nice choice against somebody that's going pure archers to harass you. However, the mana burn there's not helping him out.
No, I was hoping that he was going to be able to buy like a Infernal Stone or something to get out of this. Oh man, this is going to be bad. I don't know if we're going to even get to see Fuzzy again, because, or Slackjaw, or whatever the hell his name is, because God knows he doesn't have any mana at this point.
Yaws is putting up his extra expansion, though. He has Pensive Energy over there, which he's not grabbed yet, and most likely won't grab for a little while, since he's more worried about Hawk killing him. But nice item for the Pandarian Brewmaster. Persuade is now going to be expanding down as well, so he'll be the first person to get 2 expansions up, actually, it looks like. Although I gotta believe Maga is going to get his natural pretty soon.
Yeah, you know, Persuade did what I think a lot of people don't realize is the important thing to do on this map, which is grab your natural first, because it has the 5,000 extra gold, so it's good to drain that a little bit sooner than your side expansion. For whatever reason, people always deny you mining your natural on this map, whereas they're completely okay with you mining your side gold mine, so...
Really? I don't know. I feel a little bit differently about that. I think it's so much easier to defend your natural on this map that it makes sense to try and drain your side mine first.
All I know is that whenever I take my side mine first, I end up dying with like 5,000 gold in my natural. And I'm like, fuck. I don't know.
That may just be you and you're not very good, but...
I'm not very good now, so...
Magadansky went for the side one first, so, you know, Maga's never wrong.
Maga always goes for his natural first as undead, though. He'll put his...
I wonder if that has part of it to do with actually being undead, though. And Slackjaw is back on the map, by the way.
Thank God.
I don't know what we'd do if he wasn't. So Hawk's not even going to bother expanding here. I kind of thought he'd throw up a just extra expansion and go for that, but apparently he just didn't want Yaws to have it.
No, I think they're just being jerks to each other. It's how they show they care.
My mistake. And, okay, here we go. Mag is going, oh wait, I was just going to creep this, and Hawk says, well, too bad.
I was gonna say I was worried that maybe Hawk was bullying his fellow solo player, but no,
He's just
being a
bully
dick.
everybody.
Yeah.
I would say he got some pretty good experience off that so far. I mean, he's got the Panda second, so he clearly has some idea of the very important thing in free-for-all, which is you never play Elf without your Panda. And this will be interesting. Do you think Yaws can actually manage to take down this creep here?
No.
I
Maybe?
didn't really think
No.
so, but it looks like he's certainly going to try.
That bear is raging, and it does have a vampiric aura, so...
Slackjaw the Raging Bear.
Exactly. That sounds like the name of a child's book.
It sounds very similar to Slackjaw the Raging Bitch, too, but...
Oh my god. Why is he not using anything but Slackjaw? This is just... It looks like the Ancient Hydra is healing faster than Slackjaw can deal damage.
I was going to say, I think he actually is, and then he's lost that Dryad. He is going to heal up, though. He should be able to take it in a second go, I think, now that he's gotten some of the flying out of the way. But the Ancient Hydra is just going to say, fuck this, I'm coming after you, bitch.
I was going to say, doesn't know how to take no for an answer.
Away.
Well, now, see, this is really clutch, because if he gets a Tome of Power here, he gets that much closer to Stampede, which will just completely, turn the tables in his favor. Everybody knows.
Going to laugh when he wins by a base race via Stampede, and you regret these words.
I'm going to laugh when he uses Stampede against 100 food gargoyles and says, why is nothing happening?
So it does look like... let's see if we can beat the Hydra first, and then we'll go around the map and do a quick recap of what everybody's at so far and how they're doing, since we've mostly been watching people creep so far. He did get a Tome of Power right there. So that's going to be a level 5 Panda soon. That'll actually help quite a bit. But Persuade off to a solid start. He's pretty low on wood, but he's got 1,000. He's got his 2 expansions in his natural up, although he is currently Alkalite locked at his other expansion. Heroes are looking pretty good. 3-3, certainly not as good as everybody. And Hawk is going to go ahead and harass Yaws a little bit more here. Yaws did pick up a Dark Ranger third, which I like that choice, although he'll probably regret not having to keep the Grove in. Persuade may come in and mix it up a little bit too and see if he can take down this Panda. The Panda does not have we do have a staff on the Demon Hunter. Didn't see that earlier on, so Persuade not going to be able to do any damage there. But let's go. Yaws has got really low food, really low wood and gold. Hero levels are actually pretty decent, although questionable as how useful they will be. And Hawk actually is going to gain a expansion advantage here. So Hawk may be in great shape soon. He is going straight up to 80, possibly up to a full 100, pumping out bears as we speak. So Hawk, I'm guessing, trying to take out either Magadansky or Yaws, most likely Yaws at this point. And then Maga off to a solid start, but nothing spectacular so far. He is the best shape gold-wise so far, though.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that we're probably at, I don't know, I haven't looked at the stream, but we're probably about 11 minutes right now, and we still don't have a third expansion. I mean, it's being built, but pretty slow expanding by Magadansky.
Yeah, it is.
Looks like we're about to get a creep jack in here, though.
It'll be interesting to see how Magadansky deals with this. A Tome of Power comes out again.
2 Tome... Wow.
I would say, so we may be able to get that Demon Hunter level 6, however...
He can't pick it up.
Maga just stole it with the Mountain King there, so nice steal by Maga there, and Hawk gonna have to get out of here quickly, I think. So, well played by Maga there, and that Panda is gonna go down as well, so Hawk probably not used to seeing this happen very often.
I can only assume that Magadansky is hacking at this point. I mean, what are the odds that he would be there at that time? I'm kidding for anyone who's listening on the stream.
I was going to say, we should probably not suggest that about our own players, Rectify.
I'm teasing.
I know you are, but most people don't know that you and Magadansky are secret lovers, and he turned you into a vampire 30 years ago.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he just wanted to make out.
Well, he did. It's just he wanted to make out with you for eternity.
And I get him for eternity.
Slackjaw going to be killed here. I'm very sad about this.
It's very sad. Very sad.
Slackjaw is being hit by his own brethren. That must be very tough to deal with.
Yeah, it must be very confusing for these Druids of the Claw to see these like weird-looking purple bears coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. So we went from a minute ago, Magadansky having kind of ho-hum heroes to he somehow managed to get 5-4-2 out of this. That is a classic Maga move.
I was going to say, and he still actually has this camp over here and here, so he's going to get level 3 Paladin, assuming he just solo creeps it with the Paladin.
Yep. That would be my guess, and he'll probably be able to mooch a little bit of experience on the Mountain King as well to get that close to 5, although I guess he's just scouting the other creeps here. It does look like Yaws is going to go ahead and try and push on Hawk. I'm thinking this is not going to work out very well because Hawk is just massively outgolding him at the moment. Yaws has finally filled up his expansion, though. That was a good thing. And it does look like Persuade's going for a full 100 as well. So here we go. Interesting start to the fight here. We do get Silence goes off for Hawk first, so advantage him as well. Slackjaw coming in to take a little bit of the damage here and help out his fellow bears, but Yaws at 68, Hawk at 68 as well, so this is a very even matchup at the moment. Yaws' Pandaren Brewmaster looking a little bit lower here. It does have enough mana, though, so the Demon Hunter is really getting focused down here. Has not been able to do much damage due to Silence, so the mana burn has really not played as much of an effect as you would expect it to. Kind of a slow fight so far due to the rejuvenation, all that going on. Both players doing a very nice job of saving all their players. Good roar goes off there. Hawk is going to lose that bear, and he has to TP out with the Demon Hunter as well, so round 1 goes to Yaws in this fight, it looks like.
Yeah, really nice job there. So he's not going to be able to leave his Abolish on autocast, or else it's just going to end up taking off Fairy Fire and Roar, and then he won't have enough left to really target it down. So good job by Yaws there.
Looks like Persuade is going to go for Yaws, actually.
Oh boy.
So, or maybe he's just shopping, but this could be very interesting. I like that he's actually keeping his Scrolls of Animate dead as well.
And yeah, it looks like Maga's about to go for Hawk, so very interesting stuff here.
As I said, I think this could be game over for Yaws.
Yeah, this is absolutely game over for Yaws.
Hawk versus Maga may be a little bit more interesting, but Yaws probably not expecting this whatsoever, and this is a very bad army to deal with mass guards right now. The only good thing is the fact that the Pandaren Brewmaster is here, but a nice job by Persuade going ahead and using Stone Form to get rid of it the instant it hits, and this could be the end of the Pandaren Brewmaster as well. Nope, pops the AMS shield, so he's okay on that front, but we can see here Persuade has taken advantage of being able to take the mana fountain here. It looks like he's going to go ahead and go for the expose first, and then we do have Magadansky is fighting Hawk at the moment. Maga coming in at a 78 versus 73, so he does have a little bit of food advantage, but most importantly, he's going to be able to take that expansion down with his tanks probably. I'm guessing Magadansky not used to facing a elf player that doesn't have Chippo, so probably a little bit confused by that actually, but he's got a fairly nice army to counter this, although he's not going to be able to do much damage to these Dryads.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Persuade is backing off here. Maybe he's realizing, oh, if I'm going after this guy, maybe someone else is getting away scot-free. But actually, strangely enough, the way that it's playing out, the matchups were fine before.
As I say, I wonder if maybe Persuade just misses Magadansky and wants to come have some fun with him.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. But this is going to be leaving Persuade in bad shape if Maga can tome Hawk, because then Maga ends up with Mass TP, and I can tell you, Mass TP is not a lot of fun to face with Undead or Elf.
Yep, and Persuade is at a full 100, whereas Maga is only at 80, so the longer this goes on, that Persuade just running around the map scouting with a 100 food Garg army, the worse off he is going to be. I'm sure he realizes that, and I think he's probably going to go back and hit Yaws. He saw that Yaws did not have an army that could counter him earlier, although Yaws is building back up, but Yaws just doesn't have the gold to match Persuade at the moment.
No, and lacking level 3 bear is just really screwing Yaws over. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe he should have taken the Tome of Power with Gish Eagle Eye.
Slackjaw is feeling a little neglected at the moment, let's be honest.
I was going to say, he should be spamming at least Quillbeasts while he's standing at the Mana Fountain. Come on, Yaws. This is not very awesome of you.
No, I think you was a little confused and thought he'd be fighting Hawk for most of it. We do have Magadansky is going to engage with Hawk again. Hawk has made those Hippo Riders. It'll be interesting to see how he micros them over the tanks. Not a situation you have to deal with too regularly in solo, having mass Hippo Riders versus tanks. So be a good test for him. Hawk is forced to back up here. Now Maga has denied his expansions, and Maga just had an even bigger advantage. Let's go ahead and drop him. Sorry about that, DV, but you did say we could. And now Yaws a full 24 food down to Persuade here, and not in good shape. I'm not really sure what exactly he could do to come back here except try to bide time, but he has no gold to continue building. And the only thing he has going, I guess, is his Pandaren Brewmaster, which is level 5, and Persuade does not have a Dark Ranger on him.
Although he does have the ability to sleep him, so...
Yeah, I presume Yaws is good enough to get rid of sleep pretty quickly, though.
I don't know. He's not spamming
Ooh, this
Slackjaw
Demon
like he
Hunter's
should.
being surrounded here. Oh, never mind. Maga let it up. Very close to being a knockout on that, though. Yaws does have a lot of hippogriffs now, so he may be able to make this fight a little bit more interesting than it originally was. It would happen that we have both of our fights at the same exact time. Hawk not looking too hot right now. Maga doing a nice job. Ooh, down goes the Mountain King, though, so that's going to be a big game changer for Maga, and I wonder if Maga's just trying to stick around to grab level 6 on the Archmage, which could happen if that Demon Hunter does go down. Does look like Persuade being forced to back up a little bit by Yaws here, however, Persuade is doing a nice job of kiting him, and Yaws is kind of falling right into it and just getting really taken down by the AoE that Persuade has, and Persuade's web just doing damage bit by bit, so not going overly well for Yaws there. Magadansky losing a lot of tanks here, it looks like. Maybe just the fact that they're so low. However, he does have very close to that level 6 Archmage. He does have that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Probably going to pop that soon, or just go ahead and TP out. Go back down here to Yaws and Persuade. Does look like Persuade is losing his advantage in positioning right now. Yaws is actually going to do a fair bit of damage right now. However, Persuade's Death Knight is slowly running away. Does manage to get back. And Yaws is going to have a lot of damage done to these hippogriffs the moment that nuke comes back. Although, Lich is low on mana. And just went ahead and got it back, as I spoke, of course. As always.
As always. I was going to say, it always works out that way. This is a really rough position for Hawk, because if he had grabbed that Tome of Power quickly with the Demon Hunter, he'd have level 6.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, as a former human player, nothing is worse than facing level 6 Demon Hunter.
Yep, you don't do it very often. Not one of the more common combinations, however. Demon Hunter level 6 is impressively powered, and Persuade very close to losing his Death Knight here. Does TP out. Nice staff by Yaws, so Yaws is going to live to fight another day.
Yeah, and I have no idea how, because he started this fight at down 20 food with just a generally speaking crummy army, but now Persuade's going on like probably 5 minutes at 100 food, which is not a good spot for him.
No, and Yaws is expoing back up, so if Yaws can just kind of keep himself alive for a while, he may be able to get back in the game gold-wise. I mean, he is not far behind level-wise at the moment. He may actually be topping Persuade in levels. So the main advantage Persuade has right now is he's 100 and he has the advantage. Actually, I hadn't noticed the Dreadlord is 4, so not too far from gaining Infernal on that.
Infernal is the most OP I was going to say super, ultimate, whatever. You know what I mean. Level 6.
I mean, it is undead. You have to give them a bone sometime.
No, they should suck all the time.
We want to remove that 1% of the game where they're good.
Yeah, they have frost worms. They get to summon dragons. How awesome is that?
I mean, it is pretty awesome. However, they do cost 7 food.
7 awesome food.
Is it awesome?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I like that Magadansky, I just noticed this now, I like that he went 2 blacksmiths. It's just kind of like a nod to Persuade, if you ask me.
Well, I'm curious if Magadansky is trying to tower Hawk's expansion right now, why he was sending the peasants. I think he was trying to surprise Hawk and tower up the expansion. It didn't work out, but that would have been really amusing.
Yeah, I mean, had he had the macro forethought to do that while he was having
Fighting
that,
them, yep.
Yeah, that would have been amazing, but unfortunately...
So, Yaws has managed to tie up Persuade in food count now. Clearly well behind in gold still, but I actually think Yaws could win this fight. Persuade has not been overly impressive so far. I'd expect him to do better knowing his background and all that. And I think he's probably just not used to this army combination that Yaws is going. There are no chimeras in here, which you kind of expect every Night Elf player to have a bunch of chimeras.
Yeah, and he's compensating for the lack of the Keeper of the Grove pretty well with the use of... Oh, God, he needs to get a... Oh, look, he's not dispelling that.
Nope, so... This fight going much better for Persuade than the last, but he's still being forced to back up a little bit here. I'm surprised that more Hippogriffs are not dying. It seems like he's doing just a ton of AoE damage. However, Yaws either doing an incredible job of microing or very lucky in how he is managing to keep a lot of these alive. Now staff on the bear, and we do have Slackjaw back in the game. Persuade going to be forced to TP out momentarily, I believe. There it is. Let's go back over here. We do have Magadansky and Hawk bringing it in the fight together. Mag at 80, Hawk at 62. Hawk actually food capped at 70 food as well.
Holy crap. Yaws just dominated that fight. He got Persuade down to 66.
I would say that went as well for Yaws as he could hope, I think. And really, his only downfall at the moment may be a lack of macro. Persuade still outgolding him 2 mines to 1 expansion-wise, so that could do it. Demon Hunter getting close to level 6, as is the Archmage, so this fight about to get way more interesting once those two heroes hit 6. We can see Magadansky mass TPing into the Hawk's base, and Hawk going full Rambo on him with the Demon Hunter at 6. Maga's Griffin Rider is not looking too good here, however the Siege Engines are doing a good bit of damage to the Hippogriffs, and that Mountain King is not staying alive.
Oh!
Maga cannot save his Mountain King for anything at the moment. And we do have that Metamorphosis going off on the Demon Hunter at the moment. So close to level 6 on the Archmage, but it does not look like he is going to manage to get it right now. I like the mortar teams that were added into Magadansky's army, though. They did actually quite a bit of damage to those Triads.
Yeah, this is going to be really brutal, that next fight up. Assuming Hawk realizes that he's got plus 24 claws on his on his Dark Ranger, and switches at least some of them over to the Demon Hunter.
As I say, I'm a little bit confused by the fact that the claws are not on the Demon Hunter at the moment. You'd think you could pass off that belt of strength to the Panda and then put some claws on the Demon Hunter. We do have Persuade and Yaws. Yaws bringing it to Persuade now, so Persuade is in the area trying to prevent that expansion from going up again. However, Yaws no longer afraid to fight this one, and now is pretty much just saying, alright, let's see what you got.
Yeah, now, for the first time so far, oh, darn.
It's not good. I don't know if he's streaming.
I think he is, yeah. So this is actually the first time I think Yaws is up food in a fight, although it's not going to last very long versus the kiting.
I was going to say, yeah, Persuade doing a nice job now of kiting. He needed to do more of that earlier. He was taking those fights dead on, but he's just coming in, picking off those bears, and it looks like he may be going for the fight dead on again, actually. As I was saying that, he was doing a better job of kiting it. He's no longer going to. Yep. And Persuade, actually, looking around, has not gained very much experience in any of these fights. I mean, he has lit 5 on the Lich just now, but if you look at the level differences from when we started this 20 minutes ago with Persuade going to 100, he was 444 at the time. He's now just 554. You'd expect for all the gold he's invested in these fights, he'd be better off. However, now he has decided to actually go ahead and kite, and he's doing a nice job of just picking off units one by one here. He is going to have to TP out here. Probably a smart TP. I think he does not want to take the fight at the moment.
And you have Slackjaw over here doing some damage on the side expansion.
Slackjaw and his Quillbeast companion.
Did we name the Quillbeast?
No, we didn't like the Quillbeast enough to name it.
No, it's like kind of a angry rat, basically, so...
Pikachu.
Pikachu, there you go. Pikachu and Slackjaw. That sounds like a good show.
It absolutely does. But Hawk now bringing the fight to Magadansky, and Maga should be able to get very good positioning here to take this fight the way he wants to.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he does. I mean, he does have a lot of his tanks still behind. I'm not sure if that is on purpose, or what. And he is having these Griffin Riders have issues stay alive, to say the least, at the moment. Drew of the Claw so close to dying there. There it goes down. And Mountain King, again, is going to die.
Oh, Jesus.
Maga having massive issues keeping his Mountain King alive.
I don't think he's used to not... He's probably clicking F1 and then C to coil, and he's like, why is nothing happening?
Why do my units not stay alive when I coil them?
Oh my god. Poor Maggie. He's going to watch this replay and just see Warpex spamming, why are you so bad?
And this is kind of the problem with the army that Magadansky has built right now. He has 5 tanks that are just chilling there doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's about to have his Paladin die unless he manages to... There we go. Does TP out with his Paladin, but he needs to change his army up a little bit more. I like the innovation of adding the mortars into it. However, his current army just not doing much for his Hawk.
You know, this has been a kind of a really weird reversal of fortune game, because it's like Maga and Persuade had the advantage early game versus the solo players, and now the solo players are like coming back later in the game, and you'd think that they'd be struggling the most.
No, yeah, that's a very good point. If you had asked me how to predict this game, that would not be it. We can just put it that way. And Hawk going to go ahead. He is at 40 at the moment. I don't know if that's intentional, but if it is, it's nice because he is managing to tome Maga with 3 heroes. Poor Maga.
Yeah, at this point, tanks are just absolutely worthless between the Breath of Fire and just the Chaos Splash of Metamorphosis. It's just
I do not believe that there are any critters in Hawk's base, because actually at the moment it would probably be a good call to just go ahead and mass TP into the bank and into the base and try to get Hawk to TP back that way. We are going to have Persuade breaking it to Yaws again, so Persuade really relying on the fact that he is making sure Yaws cannot mine as much gold as he can, and as long as Persuade is bringing the fight to Yaws, then that was loud. TP out there from Yaws, so nice job by Persuade to nuke down that Beastmaster. But as long as Persuade is hitting Yaws, then Yaws can't be messing up his economy.
And this is just kind of your typical like really good move by a solo player in that he TP'd to his expansion and immediately threw up the rejuvenate rather than the gut react. Oh wait, no, that's his main base. Never mind. He had no choice. He was fucked either way.
Yeah. But Yaws is up to 1,000 gold, so that may be his high for the game so far.
Yay! Victories where we can get them.
I was gonna say, for having such an interesting combination and for being down pretty much the entire game, I mean, it looked like Yaws was going to be knocked out by either Hawk or Persuade very quickly. He's come right back into it. I mean, he's holding his own.
He really is, and it's unfortunate though because he's probably going to get just suicided by Hawk after this. He's got the dreaded middle spot for the three-way between Persuade and Hawk, and I get the impression Hawk's just going to hit whoever's closest to him next. So.
Yeah, I think the question is, I'm not sure it would be a suicide. If Hawk immediately takes down Yaws and Yaws goes down quickly, leaves the game, then Hawk's in good shape to fight Persuade 1v1 in the moment.
This is true. I think that'll need if Hawk is to beat Persuade without the benefit of a bashing Slackjaw, because he really has no incapacitate at this moment.
Yep.
He's going to need at least boots on that Ranger so that he can kind of charm harass.
Mm-hmm.
I know that nothing drives Maga more nuts than when I'm charm harassing him and stealing all of his destroyers, for example.
And Maga doing the smart thing here, just harassing him, forcing Hawk to TP. So this is kind of the other point, that now that even though Maga has managed to lose the micro battles, he's not in good shape, it's going to take forever to kill Maga. Like, Maga just doesn't die, and you give him mass TP, that's not going to be fun for anybody involved.
And so this is why I was saying I always go natural expansion first. You've got 10,000 gold left in here, 10,000 gold left in here, 11,000 gold left in here.
Mm-hmm.
And Persuade's going to wrap up both his side and natural expansions at roughly the same time. And so Persuade's going to have this kind of mental advantage of saying, I'm not mining anymore, even though he's clearly mined more than everybody else. Yeah. And most people are too stupid to acknowledge that, so I think Persuade's in really good shape right now.
So is Persuade your favorite to win at the moment, you think?
Oh, absolutely. And the second he gets Infernal versus 2 ground elves,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's just going to get that much easier for him.
And especially because it doesn't look like Magadansky has any intention of giving up. He's still got 4,500 gold, so he's going to be driving Hawk around the bend for a little while, I suspect.
Yeah, and if I was Hawk, I would go and kill that castle, like, right now, because I wouldn't want to be facing any more tanks.
Yeah. You never want to face tanks yourself.
No, it's not fun.
That's all there is to it.
Well, I started playing Elf, and then it was only after playing Elf for like a month that I realized, oh god, I have to face tanks as Elf now.
You realized how evil you were when you were human?
Yeah, you start to feel this residual guilt for all of that cheesing you did.
And we've got Persuade hitting Hawk now.
Which is just grand, because, I mean, Hawk's clearly the vindictive type, so now he's going to end up cross-mapping him. I feel like Yaws is somehow going to win this.
I was going to say, it's entirely possible when we get that level 6 Beastmaster out. I mean, that's pretty much just a good game right there.
Seriously, there's really no hope versus Stampede. As everybody knows, Stampede is the strongest ultimate in the game.
And it hits air.
And it hits air.
It takes air down instantaneously.
Absolutely. Those flying pigs, or whatever the hell they are, just destroy everything in their path. Now we've got Persuade going for Yaws, so I guess...
I think he was just trying to keep Maga alive so that Maga could keep Hawk busy. I don't think Persuade had any intention of fighting Hawk, and it may or may not come back to bite him in the ass if Hawk decides to go hit him. But I think Persuade realizes that he needs to take Yaws out, and he cannot let Magadansky die just yet.
You know what? I think that actually was his motivation, and good for him.
So he's actually done a nice job scouting Maga's base earlier, so he knows exactly how desperate Maga is at the moment.
Yeah, and you can actually see that he has shades all over the map, so he's doing a good job not only scouting his guy, but the person that his opponent is facing as well.
Which is something we don't see very often.
No, I mean the only undead that really uses shades particularly well is Maga. I mean, I know if I don't use a dust 13 minutes in that he's going to have a shade there, and he's going to know whether he should rush me or if I'm rushing him.
And he'll probably have a backup shade there too, so.
Oh yeah, he'll send
he'll
one
expect you to
right
kill
away.
the first one and then.
Yep, pretty much. We got Slackjaw and Pikachu doing some damage on that expansion again.
Pikachu is a little bloodlusted right now.
Seriously, that well, I mean, it's funny because actually, level 3 Quillbeast is pretty damn good versus air, but he's never going to get to the point that he's going to have a straight up fight with Persuade at this point. I don't think.
As I say, if Persuade is doing a straight up fight against Yaws, he's doing something wrong. And Hawk's just completely decimating Maga right now. Maga is really having issues with this Mountain King. It does not want to stay alive. Did manage to get it out that time, so that may be the first successful staff out of there. The first time he didn't try to coil it.
And there goes the Archmage.
I was going to say, so has Hawk taken out the altar yet?
Landazar down.
It's a pretty badass name.
It is. And Cloak of Shadows proving to be useful for the first time in the history of Warcraft 3.
Yes, at least free for all. It's been used a few times in solo, but that may be the first time it's been used. And hey, Yaws has added in a Chimera. Still, there's 3-2 upgrades though.
I think the Chimera is like the token black guy of his group. Like he's just only ever going to have one. Like the Union demands at least one Chimera.
The Night Elf Union said, look, you have to at least pay your respects to the Chimera, because that is our primary unit in free-for-all. And you apparently are not aware of this because you keep making Dryads, but you have to make one.
At least one. Ideally like 30.
And keep it alive.
He is playing yellow, though, which is, as everybody knows, the strongest color in free-for-all.
Well, Maga's problem was he didn't get light blue.
Yeah, I think that Persuade did a great job there of pre-game manip, if you will. God, and if you look at Persuade's goal, he's got 8,000. He's just in such a good position to win at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Hawk and Yaws have more gold than I would have expected them to be honest. I kind of thought they'd both be at like 300 gold.
Yaws is actually in pretty good shape considering he's still got 8,000 in his main. The only problem, of course, being that he's mining at 100, and he's got a level 2 Dark Ranger somehow. What the hell? Has he not leveled in like 30 minutes?
He forgot to revive it earlier.
Oh.
Just completely
Yes.
said screw it.
A bold strategy by Yaws.
Well, I mean, the Beastmaster is the most important part here, so the Dark Ranger just steals experience from it.
Yeah, I mean, really, what's keeping him alive is the Pandaren Brewmaster.
Yeah.
When he keeps sending his hippogriffs just to heal at the fountain whenever they get overly nuked, and at that point he's got maybe like 5 Dryads and 3 heroes defending his base, and Persuade still can't make any headway against that.
I was going to say, they're actually just going to place the Panda in the Night Elf altar soon. We'll be getting rid of the Warden and adding the Panda as our 4th hero.
It makes sense. Then again, like, elves are kind of boring in Warcraft, so this, like, fun drunken bear just doesn't seem like...
That's true. It's a good
like
point.
The Pandaren Brewmaster, you want to go get a drink with him. No one wants to go hang out with, like...
Well, that's why he's always at the tavern, I mean.
Pretty much. He's kind of like a walking AA ad, though.
Yeah, so Persuade now going back to hit Hawk. Really doesn't want Hawk to get a huge expo advantage on him. And as you can see, 9,500 left on Maga's main. It'll be interesting to see at what point Hawk decides to actually hit Persuade. I think Persuade is playing a very risky game at the moment because you're probably right, Yaws was the next one to go down to Hawk. However, I suspect that after Magadansky is finally killed, Hawk is going to move on to Persuade now for being a pain in his ass.
Yeah, and it looks like Yaws is about to hit him, so he's going to be in a tough situation where he's going to hit from probably 2 angles.
Yeah, he hasn't lost anything yet, although he is about to lose some gargoyles here that he just forgot about.
And you got Magus still being the thorn in his side. I'm actually and this isn't just because I have strong feelings about Magadansky, but I feel like he probably should just bow out given it's a show match, and I don't think that he's going to win with his crummy heroes and, no gold at all.
If it were somebody else, I would agree. However, Magadansky has pulled off weirder stuff before.
Maybe he's hoping to win with like 2 breakers and no heroes at this point. Not that that's ever
He wants
happened.
to be on Renaud's side of this.
Exactly.
But I mean, neither Yaws nor Hawk have very strong bases, so if he somehow managed to pull off a base kill with tanks, like, I think that's his best and only chance. And wow, Yaws coming in strong here. Persuade does not have anything to match up to this right now.
Yeah, but the one thing Persuade does have is plenty of gold to handle this if and when he decides to.
True.
Yeah.
As it does look like he's going to go up to 100 now to take care of this. Probably a smart move. There's no reason not to spend gold if you're dying.
Yeah.
Which is a mistake a lot of people make.
Oh, yes. How many times have people died with like 40k in the bank?
We're talking about you, Duck.
It's funny. I only ever saw Lost Ancient play 1 game, and it was a game on Monsoon, and he died with like 40k as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely does happen.
I was going to say, and it is the worst feeling in the world, too.
That's why I started playing so crazy aggressive. I kept dying, like, huge amounts of gold in the bank. And you don't get points for dying with the most gold.
Nope. Hawk is now food locked as well. He's at 77.70.
That's a good place to be.
I'd say he's got gold to actually do stuff. Maggot down to 800 gold now. His chances are diminishing very quickly. However, he does have some tanks lying around the map still.
Where is he? Oh, he does have charm. Okay. So, at least, Hawk is in really good position if he can
Hawk has amazing heroes at the moment. If he doesn't have his base die to the tanks, as we can see the base not in the world's best shape at the moment.
Well, at this point, it's starting to lose all shape whatsoever. It's just a blob of ancients at this point. He really should just abandon the main and move everything to... Yeah.
Which he is doing at the moment, I think. Well, he's building the Ancients of War to protect it, but he is placing a lot of moon walls there, and I suspect he's just deciding to make that his main. And Yaws is going to go ahead and
oh, God!
Poor Hawk.
Well, at least he only has one... Searcher's reaction is classic. Oh, God, and here comes Maga to take down his finally built stolen expansion.
I say the best part about this is Hawk has been very good about not hitting everybody.
I was going to say, and you got tanks coming in now, too. Hawk's going to be like, Ebony!
At least there's no chat going on.
I was going to say, well, I mean, if anything, this is like that really bad no chat game that we had that last time.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he just charmed a hippogriff instead of the chimera. So, you know what? Whatever.
Yaws finding a fight he can win, however, he does only have 300 gold at the moment.
Yeah, of all the fights to pick, I'm not sure what his motivation here is, but, whatever floats your boat, guy.
I was going to say, and quickly realizing that Demon Hunter is incredibly powerful and not a whole lot of fun to deal with right now.
And here comes Persuade to clean it up.
Oh,
all right.
God.
Yeah. I feel like Hawks fans will be back in mass complaining once
possibly.
again.
It does look like Persuade's actually going to switch. This would probably be a good chance for Persuade to take Yaws out. I gotta believe he's still been scouting. I mean, he watched that fight, and Yaws is at 83, doesn't have a whole lot of ability to rebuild beyond that. And this may be one of those things where Persuade should just try to go for a war of attrition at the moment.
Why is he sitting at 85 food? I don't think he knows whether he wants Frostworms for Yaws or...
Yeah, exactly. I think you're correct. And he is getting very, very close to level 6 on that Dreadlord. And, oh, this is going to be bad for Yaws. This is going to be bad.
God. And boom goes the dynamite.
Yep, so Yaws pretty much out of it now.
This might... Alright, this is going to sound crazy, but this might be... No, never mind. I was going to say this might be good for Yaws because it'll get him to fight straight up, but...
Nope.
But no. No, this is bad anyway you cut it.
Yep.
There we go. Pikachu is in the fight.
As is Slackjaw. Unfortunately, so is this element or Infernal, which
Infernals are so overrated.
Is fair. I didn't realize how much the Pandarian's ultimate did to...
Oh.
Okay, so we got Yaws out of the game. This is unfortunately going to lead to Magadansky continuing to harass. Actually, Maga's smart. I bet Maga will go for Persuade. I hope.
Well, it depends on one how butthurt he is by. Oh, good job by
Getting that
Hawk.
shade.
Although I would have charmed it because
Yep.
I'm pro like that. But
Hawk doing a interesting job of mining at 51 at the moment.
bold strategy, Cotton.
It's a strategy, that's for sure.
And has anyone said anything in this game other than that GG right there?
Maga said he was dying at one point,
Oh,
and that's why Persuade went and hit Hawk for a moment and then backed off.
this is a very quiet game though.
It is.
Then again, I think Persuade is pretty much known for never really saying anything unless it's like, I'm dying. And
No, usually it's, I'm already dead, you idiots. You teamed me for 30 minutes while I had 10 gold.
he usually has it coming though.
He deserves it.
Yep, pretty much. And we have Cox still going for Maga, so
With Maga being the pest he is, I think you gotta feel like Hawk really only has one option here, which is to take it out. Hawk is going to be completely unable to go above 70 food, though, so even though I think he will probably win the fight straight up against Persuade, he doesn't really have a whole lot he can do. Persuade can go full 100 on him.
I am rooting for the Acolytes versus the tank at this
I
moment.
am as well. I'm not sure what Magadansky's doing at the moment.
He's channeling his inner entropy and hoping that he can... Very good observation by Persuade.
I would say Hawk is playing better than I've seen him play, though. He is not playing terribly.
Well, he went 3 heroes. He has not randomly hit people. He's actually just...
He's been focused on just killing Magadansky.
And now it looks like...
Wait, why is Maga hitting Hawk?
Because he's like mad and suicide. See, there's no point in the suiciding someone like Hawk because he doesn't know any better. It's like I suicided Maga because he should have known better than to hit me when I was like the third in gold mine. But Hawk is stupid. What does he know? He's hitting whatever he sees. He's hitting who hit him last because that's his natural inclination. There's really no point in getting mad about that.
And there wasn't like he really also. Side note, but Hawk's army is going to get destroyed by Persuade. But I mean, Hawk didn't do anything wrong when he hit Maga. He successfully took Maga out of the game. Like, if he had been cross-mapping Maga, I could see that being a reason for suiciding. However, I don't see anything that Hawk actually did wrong this game besides not scouting and not hitting other people, but just focused on Maga.
And in fairness, Maga focused on him.
I was going to say, Maga started it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So there's really no reason that he should be upset when he gets taken out by the solo player that he hit.
If anything, it should be an honor to be taken out not only by a Hawk, but by an inquisitive Hawk.
And now Hawk is being hit twice at one. We are going to have some very upset fans soon, I think. Poor Hawk is never going to get a good experience with free-for-all.
Well, Maga kind of, just historically speaking, does not take his losses very well. Which is fair. He doesn't lose very much, so he doesn't have much experience with it. Oh, and the poor Mountain King gets left behind.
It's okay. It's going to die at some point anyway.
There we go. Good buff haze by the Panda. Good charm of the Destroyer. So, did he start this fight at 100? No, he didn't start this fight
Persuade?
at 100. Yeah, there's no way.
He started at 82 or 83, I think.
Okay.
There we go. Stone forms out of the way. Was curious why I didn't do that earlier. Nice mana burn on the Lich there. We're seeing that Demon Hunter actually can be useful for things other than his ultimate. However, he is soon just going to be fighting with his 3 heroes versus all the air, which may actually go in his favor, but...
Yeah, it's looking like 3 or 4 too many bears for Hawk at this point.
So we had to fight the tanks off, I think, is why he went so heavy on the bears.
Yeah. Well, now that you've got Persuade with a third expansion at this point, I don't see. I really just don't see him losing. I mean, it's clear that Maga just can't win at this point.
Unless they just randomly disconnect or something.
Which is... Oh, wait, nope, hold on. Maga is playing for the win. He has a raccoon in the back of Persuade's base. He is poised for a late-game tank run.
And Persuade, interestingly enough, only has a single main in his base. He's got the Black Citadel, but you'd expect him to have a proxy Necropolis somewhere at the front too, just in case. I mean, it's not like Magadansky has never tanked somebody before. And
Yeah.
Maga actually is mining again.
Yep. If he can get maybe 2 or 3 more tanks, I think he'll be able to take that on the main before it gets back up, or before the TP goes through. Unfortunately, Persuade didn't go the Death Star build, so he'll only be able to take down maybe 2 of those Spirit Towers before the army gets back.
I'm somewhat surprised that Persuade has not seen the raccoon in his base. I guess it is kind of hard when you're even just to find it knowing it's there.
Yeah, he positioned it in the right spot and leave it to Maga because I'm sure he's had other people do this to him before. But you got that weird, like, half moon thing on the top of it that's kind of obstructing the view.
It's a cute little raccoon, though. Should we name the raccoon, too? Now that we
think
don't
we should.
have Pikachu or Slackjaw with us anymore.
I know, it's very sad. Oh, man.
I feel like it's a Rocky.
I think it is a Rocky. There's something about his little face that says Rocky.
It's going to be very disappointing when Persuade discovers it and kills Rocky. We'll have to involve PETA.
I was going to say, I might have to start saying, like, the last rites or something. Bust out the Bible. And so it was written.
So I'm curious if Persuade is going to try and take down this expansion that Maga has up. Does look like he is going to do that. This could focus Maga on Persuade, though.
See, this is what I was talking about. People late game, they say no expansions, and this is why you want to finish your natural first, because it takes you longer to drain it.
That's fair. That's
and it makes no sense whatsoever, because that's 7,000 gold that Persuade did mine, but I don't know.
Do you think they have any idea how much gold Persuade has at the moment?
Well, I mean, Louis Armstrong, it's not like he used rocket science. You just have to look at how many mines they mined and then compare how many mines they mined to how much gold you have. It gives you a pretty rough estimate. I mean, if I was Maga, I'd say, okay, Persuade mined 7,000 gold more than me, minus, maybe 15% from the from upkeep. I've got 700 gold. He probably has around 5,000 gold. And then you look at Persuade, he's got 4,000 gold. You're not too far off there.
Yep, and Hawk did manage to grab a destroyer there, which I think Persuade is not going to be happy about. It's a relatively important unit to have, but it is going to go down here. So at least Hawk will not be able to use his destroyer, Persuade's own destroyer, against him to get him out of sleep. And he is actually not particularly good at getting his units out of sleep. I'm somewhat surprised.
I think what Hawk really needs is like
Hey, the bears are actually relevant now. Oof, big Infernal right in the middle of those bears, though.
I was gonna say he pulled off a fabulous Infernal surround, but I don't know if you ever really want to surround an Infernal.
Well, he did kill it, I guess. It went down much quicker than it does when I'm being attacked by an Infernal.
Persuade seems to be channeling his inner human star by sitting at 4,000 gold but pretending like he's broke, so...
I think Persuade is very curious about this opportunity to have more gold than other people, and he wants to see what it's like for as long as possible.
He's just enjoying it while it lasts.
He's just a miser. That's it.
Well, Hawk's going to get this last 1,000 from his natural. There you go, Maga. Putting those 10 years of free-for-all to good use. Finally connecting the dots.
So Persuade probably has enough to go one more full army, but the way his armies have been getting demolished by the panda, it's kind of risky. Mag is saying, I will just suicide you if you touch my natural again. Which is probably a pretty effective threat, I mean.
And here comes Hawk to kill his natural. So. And technically, Maga only threatened Persuade.
That is fair. Maga should have been clearer.
So, I mean...
And there's that mass TP into the base, though.
And, yeah. I like that Warpex and I are in the same frame of mind. It's like, well, technically he didn't threaten Hawk. Although,
Maga is at fault, I think.
now, does Hawk even have the English faculties necessary to understand what suicide, don't attack me, peace.
I'm not sure it's English. I don't think he has the free-for-all reference to get it. And he
Okay.
did lose. Maga lost a siege engine here.
No, I think that he's probably going to TP back into that.
Could be, yeah.
Or maybe he'll send it to the main.
He may send it to the main to TP onto that, actually. Yeah, you're right. He's probably kind of confused as to where the regular Tree of Life actually is.
And good lord, go kill the castle. It'll take you like 5 seconds with that many bears, and he'll no longer be able to pump tanks.
I didn't even notice that Maga had all his heroes back. Good for him. That Monkey's going to die anyway, but good for him for having them.
You know, Hawk really should just move everything to Maga's natural at this point and say, fuck it, I'm going to rebuild it.
That's actually a very valid strategy at the moment. I mean,
he'll lose 700 gold in Moonwells, but I mean, you know, he'll gain 7,000 gold. He can't defend both the top and the bottom, so.
Not without burning the rest of his gold, yeah. Which he may go ahead and just burn the rest of his gold. There's no TP on the Archmage, though, so with Silence, this could be... I guess he doesn't have the Keep of the Grove to entangle anything.
And, yeah, this. I mean, I would love to go Demon Hunter. He's great for fights, and he's great for Hero Arena, but without the Keeper to freeze people up, I mean, you just have no way of winning whatsoever. So
I think Maga actually using all his tanks here is very good for Hawk. These are the last of the tanks. It means that he's no longer going to have to really worry about the mass TP. He didn't lose his Tree of Eternity here. He did lose the Moonwells, but he's going to be able to gain back the natural expansion up at Maga's base. I think that actually went pretty well for Hawk there.
What is it? He's food locked at 20 food.
The being food locked bit is not so good, and Persuade taking down the expansion doesn't help. I take that back now. I do not think that went well for Hawk.
And I mean, the worst part is that there just does not seem to be at any point an end in sight for this little blood feud between Hawk and Maga. So, oh well, we're about to lose the game here anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. You may see Persuade choke and lose everything to the Demon Hunter and Panda.
I mean, stranger things have happened. This is definitely true.
It would seem rather hard when you have pure air and nobody else has anything that can hit it, but he does look like he is trying to lose his Death Knight by just keeping it in the middle of the bears.
I know he's focusing the guy with the
Potion.
Vulnerability potion.
At this point, he may be just kind of auto-attacking and saying, okay, I got this.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's game.
Yep.
Kind of unfortunate.
I was going to say, I wish it had turned out a little differently. I wish Maga had not done as much damage to Hawk as he did, since I think it would have been interesting to see Hawk versus Persuade with their full armies.
Yeah. I don't really know
nice
what Maga's...
there. What were you saying?
I'm just trying to. I don't really know. This is just sad. I'm bummed. I like the good game, and it was a good game, but it could have been better. I think with an epic one-on-one between the solo and the free-for-all players. And
It was a very fun early game. Like the fights there were entertaining, and we've certainly had much worse games. This is by no means a bad game. It's just a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. If Maga had some towers that he could hide behind and then kind of do the bolt.
If he still had his tanks.
Life, yeah, he had something other than 400 gold.
I said, but now Persuade's gonna be able to go in here and use Death and Decay. What he could really use though is Stampede.
Right, exactly. Stampede would be clutch at this
Ooh,
point.
and Persuade does lose that Death Knight early on. Is Maga gonna be able to pull something off here? There's no TP on either of these heroes. If he can get both heroes killed, this could be a very big game changer.
Holy crap.
Wow, Persuade did not expect that, I'm guessing. Does lose the Archmage to Persuade's Gargoyles. But down goes the Lich, and you gotta presume that the Dreadlord is gonna be moments behind it. Are we gonna see a perfect Nope, we're not going to see any stone form here. I was wondering if he was going to do stone form to trap him. But there we go.
Oh!
Dreadlord does go down. Persuade does have
Holy
enough gold to revive those pretty easily, but that's going to be pretty much the last of his gold. He is pumping some frost worms at the moment, though.
Wow. I don't know if that... Speechless. That's all I can say. Maybe he was... yeah, if he did keep those tanks instead of suiciding him into them.
Exactly. If he still had those tanks, it could be pretty much game over.
Because he does have the raccoon. You know, you sell off, you quickly rebuy, then you TP onto the raccoon.
Exactly. It does look like he is going to sell off some of his items now to go ahead and get a TP, I think. And smart move here by Persuade to just focus that altar down. Although I do believe that they're going to be able to defend it relatively easily between the Paladin and Mountain King. And Paladin's going to be able... Paladin got rid of the cloak. That's very disappointing.
In comes a Frost Worm, which pretty much spells game over for...
And he's got a couple of Banshees to put up anti-magic shield as well. So he... Oh, I didn't see it, but Persuade actually did rebuy the Death Knight from the tavern. So that's where a lot of his gold went to.
This game is going to... Oh, man, my game is going to be in like 10 minutes. Jesus.
Is it really?
No, it's 11:15.
Oh, okay. I was like... Wow, I didn't go to bed until 6, so I've got like 2.5 hours sleep.
I'm inclined to start playing I'm Too Sexy again, just FYI. Now, let's see. How much time does he have left? He could conceivably manage to TP in. I think he's going to get his Archmage back in time. And then maybe kill the altar before that Lich comes out.
That's got to be what he's hoping for. However, there's so much army. I don't
know if he's got any other choice but to try that.
I agree. I think it's his only shot here. And really, if he did have those 5 tanks, I think he would have managed to do it. Lich will be out momentarily. There we go. Lich is out. So we got Death Knight, Lich, and a full army for Persuade. 55 food worse, and the Lich is going to go down pretty quickly. Where is that Death Knight? There it is. It's on the other side of the map. Pops the AMS on the Lich. Nice move on that part. And Archmage does go down. That's GG.
Well, he made a show out of it at least.
Yeah, he did get the altar down.
That's worth something.
Well, that was an interesting game to say the least. If we had been playing... Actually, this is kind of interesting. Hawk resource score was really the only thing that he beat Persuade in. I would have expected it to be beating him in heroes and stuff as well. But Hawk mined the most gold by quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they had the total... They had equal amounts of gold mined, but, you know, Persuade was telling the truth when he said, well, I was mining at 100 the entire time.
I'd say 15k lost to upkeep for Persuade.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Any takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the solo guys, they did a really good job. I think this map particularly plays well into, you know, the solo mindset, because it does always break down into 2 one-on-ones. And there aren't a whole lot of binds for you to be able to flex your macro muscle if you're the FFA player, so it's a lot more level than, say, if we played on Twilight.
Yeah. And it does do the... It prevents people from getting 3v1 for the most part. There is 2v1 when you are stuck in the middle of some people, but it's very unlikely that there will be any 3v1 going on. I wouldn't expect it with these players, really, but I think it's a nice map for these type of show matches, and it really suits all the players pretty well. From the game itself, I thought that Yaws going Beastmaster first was a little bit odd. By a little bit odd, it would probably be more than a little bit odd. Can you not type until we're done?
Sorry.
No, you're good. And I think if Hawk ever had any interest in actually going to become a true free-for-all player, he could probably excel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing he was really missing was some sort of disable, because he was getting kited a lot. And maybe a few less spares, but he played pretty great, all things considered.
I was going to say, I was impressed. It was much better than his previous showings, and hopefully he had enough fun that he'd be willing to join us again in the future.
Well, he certainly had more fun than the last time he tried free-for-all.
That's true enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and sign off. This is Mage.
And this is Rectify.
Catch you guys later.